All right. We're bringing it in. We're bringing it in. You have to celebrate our wins. We have to celebrate those wins. We're doing okay. We're doing okay, and we're looking at other teams right now. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Arsenal Fan Circle, the Sunday show, season 4, episode 23. We played 23 games. We're in a decent position now in the league. Oh, I'm gonna bring Gary's here as well. Bring Gary in. Yeah. All right. So welcome everybody. Gary, you're just a few seconds late, not too much.
That's Ian Wright. That's not Gary.
Oh, okay. It's Ian Wright.
Hello, people. Sorry about that.
Okay. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for watching, and we will get into the introductions right away without any further ado. Up top we have Tony and we have Matt.
Hi Ray. Hi guys. Hi everyone in the chat. Good evening.
Tony is, of course, taking time out from more worldly endeavors. But listen, we do hope nothing happens in our region. Hopefully, we are thinking about the people in Ukraine as well. Hopefully nothing bad happens down there. But Putin's going to do what Putin's going to do, right? Evening, gents. Mahir, welcome, Mahir, all the way from South Africa.
Yeah, buddy.
Warmer climes, and of course, Gary and I in the cold country.
Hello, people.
All right, you sound a little bit echoey.
Hello. That's what I really said. Hello.
You sound a little bit echoey, Gary.
Uh-oh.
Like you're in a telephone box, maybe.
You know what? I think. Does it sound better now? I don't even know.
That's better.
There we go.
That's better.
I've been playing around with my audio and stuff, so I don't know which. I'm gonna go to my. Is my camera? Does it sound better now?
Yes, you're dialed in. Poor Brandon Rogers. I thought Leicester would get something out of today's game. Wolves are a pretty tough nut to crack, and if you can't score more than one goal against Wolves, you're going to struggle, as we know.
I'm still scared about our next game against them.
Yeah. Listen, they're worthy opposition. We got 3 points, and they're going to be out for revenge, much the same as we were out for revenge against Brentford yesterday. Today, Kahoot will return, so warm up your phones, download your Kahoot app if you're new around here,
or re-download it if there's somebody like Stan.
Re-download it. Return to the Kahoot, Ray. You absolute legend.
So glad this is back.
I put in the time. Took me about an hour. I'm looking at Gary now. Gary, it's going to be a cryptic striker partnership shipped name. Answer which club the strike partnership is from. That's your Kahoot clue right there. You got about an hour and a half to think about it. It's okay.
Okay, I don't know. My mind isn't working. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
It's inspired from that lovely record that Son and Kane have achieved together. Did you see that, Gary?
I saw some details on it, but I'm lost. So I'm sorry.
Basically, they're the most prolific strike partnership. Kane and Son, the most prolific strike partnership so far. But they don't have many trophies to their name, right?
Many? Don't have any.
Well, the Audi Cup, right? Maybe the Audi Cup.
I was going to say maybe the Audi Cup, yeah.
BX, this is great news. Jack Wilshere has signed for a Danish team, and
wow,
the bromance that I'm sure Tierney will keep in touch with you, Jack Wilshere. Aarhus Gymnastics Forening, yeah, Danish club, but that's good news, Tony, right?
I don't care where he plays. To me, I think he should retire. Just worry about his coaching badges. I don't think he's going to have much competition, get paid much money. You might as well just spend time with his family, stay in London. If he can keep getting his coaching badges at Arsenal, then get him at Arsenal, then go try to coach wherever.
Matt, this is something we talked about yesterday in the pre-game show, along with Gary. Christian Eriksen, that will to continue to play is strong in professionals.
Yeah, it is. Jack Wilshere, I think, has very much missed playing football. I think he's made that pretty clear. I think he's still got the drive to play, and I think he's still got something to offer. If he can stay fit, he's a fantastic player still. He's got a lot to offer somebody. Maybe not at the top level. His age and his injuries have probably put him beyond playing kind of Premier League football. Although he may well have done if he was fit enough, been able to play for maybe a lesser side in the Premier League. But good on him. There's something to say for Tony's comments around his coaching badges, maybe, but. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, maybe that's where he should be. But I think at this point, he's probably got enough about him to still give something to a reasonable kind of level. And it's difficult to give up and hang up your boots, isn't it? When you played for the likes of Arsenal and won what he's won and done what he's done and performed at the highest level, when he's still the age he is, he's going to feel like he can go and play for someone. So good on him. I'm really pleased for him that someone's taken a chance on him. I'm hoping. I think it was a 6-month deal until the summer, where he'll then be given the option maybe to extend. So I'm really hoping that he'll go on. He'll stay injury free, fingers crossed, and he'll go on and play well. And they extend his deal. So yeah, good on him. Good on him. It's always nice to see someone like Jack. Someone take a punt on him because I think he deserves that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Jack Wilshere, Maher, he gave us the old Tottenham moniker. What do we think of Tottenham?
Shite. What do we think of shite? Tottenham. We hate Tottenham. We hate Tottenham. We hate Tottenham. We are the Tottenham haters.
Really said, no, Ray, they're not. Ever heard of two men named Henry and Bergkamp? Yeah, I seem to remember them. Yeah, they were pretty good back in the day.
Oh, those two guys, yeah.
Maher, a quick word about Jack Wilshere?
Oh no, man! I loved Wilshere for the time when he was young already. He was what we call doveling. The Afrikaans word for dovel means playing like really well, but like lekker, man. It's like lekker.
Lekker,
another slang word that we do. Lekker. When a steak is undescribable when you're having a T-bone steak, and it's like, yo, this is lekker. Oh, now, yeah, man, like. He brought some really good memories, actually, and yeah, all the best to him.
All the best to him, I think, filling in the gaps there. All the best to Jack Wilshere.
Super Jack, absolutely.
Gary?
Yeah, no, congratulations to him. I know that's what he's been trying to get to, even though, many thought maybe he had a chance at Arsenal. It's good that some team did see something in him and wants to give him a chance. So he's got the chance, and if he, like you said, if he is able to perform, he'll get an extension maybe and continue to play some more. I mean, you see it in, like you said, when you get to that level, you just can't turn it off, no matter how hard, no matter what challenges are put in front of you, right? You break your leg, all of this happens, it still doesn't matter. I mean, a man's heart stopped in a game, and he said, you know what?
Yeah.
Once I'm ready and once I'm healthy, I'm going to try to get back into the game. So, you know what? That's why they're at that level. Those are the type of players that are at that level that they will come back and play. And that's the type of player that you want. You definitely want on your team, all right? Because they're going to come back no matter what. And it's good to see him go and do that. Yeah, he's got his opportunity probably still to get his coaching badges anyway. So he can do that for, pretty much the rest of his life if he wants to. So, but playing football is definitely limited. So, good to see him take that chance. We'll see how he does. I took a look at that team that he's going to. I get AGTA thing is how people, I guess, they shorten it down. But they look like they score a lot, so he'll have an opportunity to score playing for them. I think they're 7th in the league. So, you know what? Maybe he can help them get up top 6 or whatever. We'll see what that will, be a challenge for him. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see him be able to do that and move on.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he helps the team get up into maybe a Europa League spot or something like that, so you get to play a little bit of European football as well. Maher, you'll never forget probably that night against Barcelona. Jack Wilshere.
Oh man, of course not, and especially with that Barcelona squad being on that level that they were, which was elite, the highest level that you can get at that time. And for youngsters to come in and perform the way they were performing, like Wilshere, I mean, jeez, fam. You'll have to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, there's very few players, young players that come in and play at that level at that age. Rooney was one I remember seeing at 16, scoring against us, funnily enough. For Everton, you don't see it happen all too often, and you've got a real talent on your hands. When he's playing against that quality and caliber of opponent, and he absolutely bossed it. It'll be a night that most Arsenal fans who were kind of old enough to remember it will always remember.
Yeah, and that'll lead us up nicely now. So that goal against Norwich, we'll never forget that one.
Yeah.
One of the best goals ever. A
Yeah.
tiki-taki goal. And that leads us up nicely. Tony, I got to go to you first because you let me know we want to do the Tony Don Juan man of the match pretty early. But can we talk about the game first, or do you want to just jump in there, Tony?
Let's go ahead and jump in because I think it's a spark some conversation. And
all right, so we're gonna put the horse before the cart, the cart before the horse. Yeah. Okay.
We know it takes like an hour to get through your game summary, so let's get it done and dusted.
My ears like, pardon me if you hear water running. I'm sitting by a pool. My ear, that's torturing us. That's torture. We're all up here in the northern hemisphere, and you're talking about sitting beside a pool in nice warm temperatures.
You know what? Today, Ray, I was just telling Matt and the guys, I was telling Matt, Tony, and Gary, before we started the show, we were just discussing. So I was saying, actually the weather this side, today it must have been like 33, 34. And it's just that I had to go to a function that I was wearing jeans. Oh, Alex! Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Ralph. The guys over at our sister channel, Cannon Porter TV, and all of their subscribers as well. Like I was saying, it must have been 30 something, 34, 35. And we were sweating. I was checking, did I have to wear jeans? Because somebody else came in the shorts. I was like, you changed from your smart clothes. You wore your smart clothes for 10 minutes. Went to the bathroom, we changed. Came out and was like, I can't.
Lovely within the time. Shout out to Alex, and I actually can hear your voice through the text when you're typing with all the Y's at the end of it. A lot of us have Y's at the end of it, except for Mahir. You're the only one that doesn't have a Y at the end of your name, Mahir.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh, yeah, what's wrong with you?
Oh, damn.
Mahir,
I didn't get paid by the boss yet, man. Awesome boss yet.
All right, Tony, let's jump in. Let's have your big nomination for the Tony Don Juan man in the match. Before
there actually isn't one. There are actually two that I'm awarding it to, but you guys can have your say first.
Oh, okay.
I guess you know what? Should I go first? So I can
yes,
I get my half-hour spiel out of the way, and then you guys can go for your 2 minutes.
As long as you give us a positive answer, no answer, Gary.
No answer. Yeah, you'll get an answer. No, I think that, like, I don't know. Tony said there's two people, but I think at least the two that I looked at that I said had really good games, or you could say even three. But first off, for me, I liked Xhaka, his play, and Emile Smith-Rowe. I mean, you can see the difference between Emile Smith-Rowe and Martinelli. So they both bring something different to the squad, but the finishing of Emile Smith-Rowe has improved so much, and every time he gets out on the pitch, you see that. Xhaka, that today was one of those days where I was like, damn, that's pretty good. I haven't seen that as much from him as far as consistency with his shooting like that, but he had a good day. And then, I think the man is probably going to get the most praise, even though it seemed really quiet because I didn't really notice him as much. But if you go back and look at the game, Erdegaard was really good. Really good yesterday. Quietly kind of keeping things in control. I mean, even to some degree, that whole midfield, and when you bring Martin Erdegaard in there along with Partey and Xhaka, it just looked really good yesterday. I think we controlled that middle, and that was really good there. But Erdegaard, I think, stood out. And if we had some better finishing or different types of players playing, he may have gotten some assists, along with what was going on. He did have a shot, I think, that went off a defender. I don't know if it was on target, but you know what? The one thing, I guess I'm going to say one negative, because I really wanted him to do it, was when he had that shot right there in the middle of the goal, and he passed it off to Xhaka, who put it into. I would have liked to see him take that shot. Right.
Well, 12 yards out. Reminded me a bit of Anders Limpar back in the day.
Yeah, I wanted him to take that shot, instead of he passed it off, and it made it even difficult for Xhaka because it was a little too late. But yeah, otherwise he had a really good game. So I guess for me, it was kind of split. I think Emil Smith-Rowe and Xhaka kind of split the votes for me a little bit. So I'm going to give it to Erdegaard, because he doesn't split any votes with anybody else. He looked really good. So Emil Smith-Rowe, Erdegaard gets man of the match for me.
All right, Gary has given Erdegaard. I understand exactly what you're saying, Gary. A bit of a sleeper, a great performance in Erdegaard there. Usman said, "What's good, everyone? I was meant to join in last week or the week before, but studies caught up. Sorry about that." Definitely, Usman. Always
seems like that was like 3 weeks ago.
Whenever we can, we'll fit you in whenever we can.
Welcome back.
Yes.
My hero, your nomination for man in the match.
My nomination, from what I've seen, as I was unfortunately on the road, I didn't catch any of the game, but I caught some extended highlights. And I would have to say Emil Smith-Rowe. I'm just loving. I'm absolutely loving this guy. He's added goals to his game as well. So, I mean, geez, what is he now? I think he's the 4th top scorer. It's like Mo Salah, somebody else, and then Emil Smith on 9. Come on, take us to top 4, Holmes. As much as I'm still Arteta out, as much as I'm Arteta out, I'm Arsenal in, guys.
Yeah,
It's what matters the most. So if we can get top 4, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. We need to take advantage as much as we can.
maybe if we get top 4, I can convince you a little bit. You can come a little bit more. You can sit on the bench a little bit.
I'm more along the lines, as you guys do know, I'm more along the lines of whatever's best for Arsenal. So like I was saying, even 3 podcasts or 4 podcasts ago, I would love for us to win with having even somebody that can even manage even better than Arteta. That's why I'm Arteta out.
And your nomination was Emil Smith-Rowe, right?
Emil Smith-Rowe, guys.
Smith-Rowe. Matt, who have you got, Matt?
Firstly, I agree with Gary, I think, and Mahir, to be fair, with Emil Smith-Rowe. He's not really started a lot of games, which surprises me, but he's every time he gets on the pitch, he impacts the game. He's direct. He drives at defenders and causes them problems. He's added goals to his game. Finishing, like Gary has said, has really come on a long way. He's really kind of picking up the slack in that regard. And he's exciting to watch, and he causes teams the problems and the headaches you want to see from other attacking players. Xhaka, for me, had dropped off a little bit in that respect. But fantastic to see him grab a goal. And he looked back on it again against Brentford for me. He looked like, taking players on, jinxing in and out of defenders, trying to cause issues. And when you've got Emil Smith-Rowe and Xhaka doing that, you're going to create chances, and we just need someone to get on the end of them and actually put them away. Emil Smith-Rowe for me was a close second, but I would agree with Gary. I'd go for Odegaard. He's somebody that's just very composed on the ball, very cool, keeps things ticking along really nicely, keeps feeding balls through to the front 3 to keep us going, keep creating chances and keep the ball moving. It's not always all that obvious to see. But, when you watch that back, you can see the contribution he makes. And it's almost effortless. He knows when to release the ball, who to release the ball to. He comes back deep if he needs to pick the ball up. I thought he was fantastic. So, yeah, I'm probably going to agree with Gary and go with Odegaard, I think.
Okay, well, I'm going to make it 2-2. Emil Smith-Rowe for me, when you needed someone to step forward and break the deadlock, he literally stepped forward and broke the deadlock. The big problem in the first half was we, much like Jack Wilshere's goal against Norwich City way back then. We tried too much ticky-tacky football and combined that with a lot of crosses into the box as well in the first half. I thought there could have been adjustments made at halftime by Arteta, and it just seemed like Emile Smith-Rowe drove at his defender early in the second half and got the shot away, which is what he was. He got like some advice to do that last season. Shoot more, Emile Smith-Rowe, shoot more. And I think this is our season is going to hinge on these players. You saw Manchester United, you saw Wolves, and you saw Tottenham.
Yeah.
They had to go to their bench. They had to go to their squad to get wins over the line. We're dependent on that first 11 that's put on the field, and I think as Emile Smith-Rowe and Xhaka goes, our season will go. So 2-2 right now, Tony. 2 Emile Smith-Rowes and 2 Erdegaard.
Well, 2 of you got one of them. That would be Ian Wright and whatever's for dinner,
Max. What's for dinner, Max?
Lasagna.
Lasagna's
I made
for dinner.
lasagna as well. It's my specialty. Yeah, it's my dish. That is lasagna tonight.
So your chicken dinner.
Why not? Is in the house. Big up Ray on the panel. Conte in. Conte back in after 3 losses.
So the disclaimer here is I didn't watch it live. I rewatched it at 1:30 this morning because I usually don't feel good first when I wake up. It takes me 3 or 4 hours not to hurt and feel good. So watching it with a fresh mind. The main thing I was paying attention to is what I seen in the last game is Odegaard dropping back deep into the midfield behind Xhaka, his deepest party at times, doing all the link-up play, trying to get the ball up to the flanks or up through the middle, working hard. And then he got up there, helping to should assist a lot more, but the goals were off. The other player was involved in the second goal as part of us having 16 shots and only 2 on target in the first half. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I picked Lacazette for his hold-up play and also having to link up in the midfield. And that just shows how much Hardy and Xhaka don't get. You need a box-to-box midfielder, and Odegaard's kind of been playing that role and also playing a cam. He's been given 2 roles. He's been doing it both. So I did a duel Tony Don Juan of a match. Lacazette and Odegaard.
Lacazette and Erdegaard is the dual Tony Don Juan man of the match. When you said controversial, I thought you were going to extol the virtues of Granit Xhaka in midfield, not picking up any yellow cards, staying away.
He fucking fell down on his own. What else do you need to say, Ray?
I guess I didn't see the game like that, Tony. So I don't know. 1:30 in the morning, maybe.
I had a very clear mind.
Maybe or 1:30 in the afternoon. Maybe it's a little different over there in Oklahoma. So
yeah.
We just pray. We just make prayer that Tony, like the pain subsides. After however long it's going to
very
take.
much so. Yeah.
So just
definitely.
we always with you, bro.
We're all with you on this journey. We can't feel the pain. Literally, but we are.
No, I can literally, well, not exact on that level, but being a diabetic, also you do get super extreme. You get extreme cramps. And Tony, we don't know anything what you're going through, but we're always with you, my bro. All of us and and our sister channels with you, all the guys there. Yeah. All our subscribers, part of the Arsenal fan circle family.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to be his real friend when he keeps putting that damn shirt on.
Oh, are you still mad about the Cotton Bowl, Gary?
Listen,
still mad about the Cotton Bowl.
We did the pregame show yesterday, and people were asking for you, Tony. And we sort of said, "Well, you're not an early riser. I mean, 1 a.m.
It's really early in the morning in Oklahoma for that game. So yeah.
So yeah, Listen, and let's get into a couple of questions. And Matt, are our young players overrated? I don't believe so. I think we're
No.
we're not bigging them up too much, right? They are good, and right.
No,
Yeah.
they perform. You've seen it with your own eyes.
How many 19, 20, and 22-year-olds are leading their teams in scoring in the world?
Absolutely, yeah.
In the
Yeah.
world.
And don't forget these guys are
Not-
playing at international
Not in England,
level.
the world. Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you know,
I believe Alex is just asking to spark that conversation, but I don't think he believes in the opposite way.
Do you know what, Ray? I think that typically in this country, we overhype players. We get very excited about young English talent. We build them up and break them down, and that's a cycle that everyone goes through, particularly with British media. We haven't really done that, and we haven't really seen it too much, particularly with Emil Smith Rowe. He's kind of gone. Not people within football appreciate him. They know what he's about. They know his qualities, but he's not been overhyped, which is great. That pressure's not. I don't believe I've seen that pressure on him yet. Xhaka, he's had a little bit more exposure because of obviously his England performances. He's probably been a bit more of a regular in that team, so he's had a little, obviously particularly with the penalties and things like that. But I don't think we've seen the kind of hype that maybe the Rooneys have had, etc. So I don't think they've been massively hyped up. But in terms of they've got such massive ceilings. You know, the potential for both of them is huge. I mean, given what they're doing right now at this point in their careers is phenomenal. They've been leading this Arsenal team and picking up the slack for some very high-profile, experienced older players, and they've been carrying this team through a very, very difficult period, and they've contributed massively. You know, and not just on the pitch, off the pitch. You know, in terms of their leadership, in terms of getting behind and doing media duties and all that kind of thing. They've been phenomenal, and I don't think they're overrated at all. I think they'll. I mean, if you think what they'll go on and do, I think this stage right now we haven't seen anything yet.
And I think for large parts of last season, we had a terrible 12 months ago, 15 months ago, we were down on the bottom, toward the bottom of the league. We were at the bottom. Started this season, we were at the bottom. We dragged ourselves up through the ranks, up now. I think I actually like where we are now. We're in sixth place. Yeah. We're in a kind of a sleeper position. We have those we're games in hand FC now, but we do have the possibility of jumping above United, jumping above West Ham with those games in hand. And we're not, when you look at the table, you think, oh, we're sixth, but we do have those games in hand now. You got to win them. You got to win them. But really says, Ray, can we please be a bit positive after a victory for once in our lifetime? Thanks. I think we are, for the most part, being positive so far, the first 30 minutes.
If we get, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Got to go to Tony or Matt here. You two fight it out. Who wants to go?
I'm ready. I raised my hand twice. To me, when I think of overhyped players, first one I think of, or actually just the big burden put on the player, was Theo Walcott. To me, I don't think he's appreciated as enough as he should be. Scored tons of goals for us. People thought he should be scoring 30 goals a season or whatever and win the World Cup for England when he starts at 17 years old for him or whatever age he was.
Yeah,
but
16,
he just always had
when he went to the World Cup with Svenja and Eriksson.
Yeah, he just had too much of a burden on him, too much expectation from the fans. To me, he's a pretty damn good player for us.
Yeah,
like I said, he scored the goals. But now you have Xhaka, where he doesn't have that pressure. He'll have more pressure on him when the World Cup comes up in November, but he's up to it. Smith Rowe hasn't had the pressure. He went on loan to Germany, had the injury, so he hasn't had all the hype and everything. So that helps him. He needs to be starting every game. He doesn't need to be starting on the bench. Him and Odegaard can play on the same team. They can play different roles. Smith can play on the wings if he wants to, or you can play with two of them basically playing box to box. One playing box to box and one moving up to play cam. Interchange them. It doesn't matter. They can play together. But I think both of them have very high ceilings. Then you got Xhaka, which to me, has the highest potential out of all of them. I don't think he'll probably reach it. But the main thing is, do we get top 4? Do we get swayed by other teams?
Yeah, listen.
I think those talks for his contract are going to be key. I'm not sure if we can offer him enough money. I think he'll want the competition. So top 4 is a must for me to keep him.
Yeah, and all things will be revealed in good time, Tony. We have Erdegaard, we have Emil Smith Rowe, and then we have on that left wing we have a Martinelli or a Pepe, impact players that can come in, and this is what we want: 12, 13 players that at least you can impact the game through some substitutions. Mahir, a few minutes ago you wanted to jump in and say something.
Hi, sweetheart. I'm on the podcast.
You didn't
I
want
just
to
wanted
say
to say. No, it's my niece. My niece.
Yeah,
I call them all my sweethearts and all that.
absolutely.
It's uncle stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, are our young players overrated? No, I don't think so. I would love for them to hear a podcast like our podcast, nah? And just to tell them that you just keep doing what you're doing, no pressure. And for us Arsenal fans not to be overhyping any of our players. Let them do what they need to do. You'll see performances and stuff because the badge means a lot to them. Imagine you coming up in an academy where there's a slight chance to actually play for the first team. One of the biggest clubs in England, in the UK, which is the Arsenal, which is our club. And you get given that opportunity through hard work. And even at the club, do you know what hard work brings? Hard work probably brings you a higher wage packet as well. So why not? Like Tony said, it's very unfortunate we have had players like Theo Walcott, who was actually a great player. He wasn't average, he wasn't below average. He was a great player.
Pretty
Scored
decent.
a ton of goals.
Over 100.
Yep. And one of the members of the 100 goals club at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, they just shouldn't allow anything that the media or fans saying can chat the TV. If you are good enough, you are old enough. Haha, what up?
Yeah,
I like that comment.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good enough, you are old enough, but we're, as why not is saying, 19 and 20-year-olds shouldn't be leading the line, but that is the road that we choose. We're forced due to inexperience hierarchy, and due to a failed strategy of bringing in what we call proven, experienced players. Aubameyangs and Xhakas, they really haven't performed for us over the years, and the youngsters have been asked and tasked with the task of bringing us back to former glories. And
one of those you just mentioned performed for Barcelona today had a hat trick.
Well, I didn't. I'm not one of those fans going actively go and check up on what he did. Xhaka and Smith Rowe are proven. There's no overhyping. They don't have massive price tags on their back like Grealish, who is overhyped. From Steven.
They may have massive price tags soon.
Pretty soon. At some point in time, we may be faced with a huge price tag that our fan base will have to come to terms with. At 100 million, you probably have to sell a player. I think we have to think about that in the next 18.
No, we don't, Ray. We're not keep Xhaka.
They are
too much potential. It's stupid.
Yeah, but they're also so central to our plans. They're almost. I think Arteta's actually building a squad around these players. If you lose a Xhaka or a Smith Rowe, suddenly that youth plan and Project Youth goes out the window to some degree, because what are you going to replace them with? You're going to have to pay that money anyway to replace them with the same kind of quality. So it would just be really short-sighted and stupid.
There is so Matt. There's a couple of answers there. Jack Grealish went for 100 million, and Aston Villa really did not replace with 3 players what Jack Grealish could probably do for that team. But on the flip side, Liverpool cashed in on Coutinho and went and identified 2 key areas on their team and made it work. You know what I mean? So,
but then they already had a really good squad of players anyway. I think
you would say Van Dijk and Alisson pushed them over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we're so. I think that would impact us massively if we lost either one of those players or both of them. That would set us back 2 or 3 years. Easily.
I mean, you're basically just setting them up for the next team, and why would you want to do that?
It'd just
Either you
be
sell them
madness.
young before they get to that point where they are actually crucial to the way you play, right? So you sell them on potential. We can't sell them on what we know they can do. All right. If they all, for example, if they all hit 10 goals this season, then we know we're gonna get at least
They're already doing it. Sorry.
They haven't done it. So when they do it, like I said, when they hit 10 goals this season, and I don't just mean Milsworth because he's the leader, but when we see that from like a Martinelli and a Xhaka, then we have 10 goal scorers, and we don't have to question, you know what, where are we going to get our goals from now? It's just a matter of how do we improve the squad and where. So, and when you get that, why would you want to break it up? You got them to this point. It's like everybody's saying that Arteta is interviewing for his next job. Like if he goes to this and he doesn't succeed and they kick him out, he might turn out to be a really good manager, but elsewhere, right? If that's the case, the same thing with the players. Right? So I think Arsenal has to make a decision. Yeah, they're either going to have to pay these guys because they've been here and they've watched some things, but you got to also hope that the being Hale End, they won't be looking for the big paydays as much as they were looking for being Arsenal, greats, Arsenal players that names
on
on
Gary.
the wall and stuff.
I think though economics plays a part in every club, and at some point you're going to sell at a price, whether the player has realized the potential or not. And
Ray, I think these, like Gary said, these guys are Hale End boys. They love the club. They've grown up around Arsenal. They absolutely love this club. The club loves them. We love them as fans. They've got the real opportunity as part of a fresh project, a youthful project, to be the stars in that team, to actually develop and go on to be almost like our modern day Arsenal legends, being that good and having that kind of ceiling. You think of what may happen, hopefully we're on the up and up. Who knows where we're going to be in 5 or 6 years' time, by which time they'll be hitting their absolute peaks. They could really, go down as club favourites, etc., and be up there. So why would they want to leave? The only way they're going to leave, I think, is if we don't achieve our goals as a club in the next, say, 5 years, and they get to the age of, say, 25, 26, 27, and a club like a City or a PSG or a Barcelona or Real Madrid, those kind of clubs start saying, we're interested in you and we can promise you Champions League if you've not already got it still, or we can promise you real competing for trophies, and we're not doing that. I think at that point they'd have a fair decision to make. At this point in time, we are not letting those players go. We're very much on the up and up, and that they are a key part of that. And I can't see that happening.
I definitely.
Only one I can see it happening on is Martinelli's really only one I can see being wooed by somebody, because he hasn't had much time with us. Arteta hasn't played him much. Didn't play him really at all until Uba got benched.
I mean, all of those things. The only reason why we're seeing any of these players is because of that, right? There's always been some reaction from Arsenal management, and that's why we've seen the players that play now. And when they play, Arteta can't just sit them, right? He couldn't sit Martinelli, and now he's got a challenge on his hand. What does he do now when Martinelli comes back?
Yeah,
you might as well continue to play Milsworth Rowe, since he's in the starting lineup, and then eventually you're going to have to rotate anyways. But one of the things I have listed here as one of my notes is I'm just looking forward to that young front four starting in a match. In this match, in that first half, the way we were playing, I don't think Lacazette gave us everything that we wanted. I mean, in the second half when we started scoring, that's when he seemed to drop back even further and put a little bit more, control that middle a little bit more. And that's how the Milsworth came about, right?
Melvin agrees as well. He says, sorry to be harsh, but Laka is holding us back. At the 90-minute performance, Saka and Emil Smith Rowe wasn't good.
Because Partey can do the same thing that Laka does. I mean, if you look at the Saka goal, similar thing, but I think he's got, he's actually making a run there, making a pass forward. So I think we're missing a couple of pieces, maybe a striker that's good in the air if we're going to do crosses. But, Lacazette, we know he's good for the glue right now, but I think we should hopefully see sometimes when
Yeah.
we don't need him on the pitch and we go maybe a little bit younger up top and see how that works out, especially when we
we need some super glue, not just ordinary glue.
when we can control the middle is kind of when we don't need Lacazette as
Yeah,
much.
but he's
right?
doing what he has to be doing. So,
Well, do you know what?
Charlie Harris is back for you, Mahir.
Charlie, shout out to you, my guy. My G, what's going on?
Second, Matt there. In my opinion, as a 90-minute performance, Xhaka and Middlesbrough wasn't good. 2 moments of individual brilliance. FC like Man United under Ole, but there was a lot of wasteful moments and poor final third decisions. Exactly right.
You know what? Those are because you got to look at the way the style of the kind of when we scored and what you're looking at in the first half. For me, when you looked at the first half, Middlesbrough Rowe is not going to dribble by anybody, right? He needs to be on a run with a pass coming at him, and that's what happened in the 2 goals that we had. We were more direct in terms of.
He can beat a player too.
What?
He beat the player for the first goal.
No, I know, but that was because he had a dead sprint from just inside the half.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the first half, he's getting that ball almost in the attacking third, and he just doesn't have enough space to make up to get a run at the defender. They just close him down, and then he has to reset.
About 9 or 10 shirts back, Gary. So
if that's Martinelli, he can go by. Martinelli. That's why I was saying there's a difference between the two of them. Martinelli can go by most players that we've seen. He just doesn't have anything left. He doesn't have anything. We don't see him do anything after he makes that turn and gets to the goal line, right? Middlesbrough Rowe can't get to the goal line, not as much. And Tierney later in that second half, he can get to the goal line, and he puts the crosses in. So I think that when at least that's what I saw.
Neil Smith Rowe's got to turn. He's got to turn a pace in the Burnley game for that prime.
I'm just saying what I saw in the last game. So in the last game, he could not get past that defender, and you saw him pull up a lot and go back, right? So
against Wolves,
but I think Martinelli can go by a lot. Could go by those guys. I believe he could. So.
I think in the first half, and we're gonna break down the game a little bit, but Brentford played almost 10 players behind the ball in the first half. It was a lot of ticky-tacky stuff, and there wasn't a lot of space out there for things to come off. And I'm going to get through a few comments first, Tony, and then I'll get.
I wanted you to answer a question that Alex had earlier that you.
Ready? I've explained this many times. We can see the entire club needs change in culture, and that won't happen unless KSC leave. Arsenal. Good evening from Sam. Okay, Sam is going to be here laying down the Kahoot challenge. Stick around, everybody. Kahoot today. Tony, what question did you have for me or for the panel?
No, Alex had a question. It was, if you could choose a position to play an Arsenal team, where would it be and why? Ray.
Wow.
At you.
Is it at me?
Yeah, it's at you. It says Ray.
At you, bro. Ray? Question mark.
No, you see all the question marks? That's got to emphasize.
I believe that's how you spell your name. I don't know.
I'd like to throw it back at you for where.
No. You got to answer it first, buddy. Come on.
It's directed at you.
Right? Question mark.
It wants to take all the headlines. I don't think so. Right?
Come on, let's go.
I'm Erdegaard. I'm gonna set it up for everybody and
Woo, okay.
Just answer the question. Come on, play along.
I will play CAM, central attacking midfielder, even though I'm 6 foot something. I don't have the build for it. Where do you see me play? Did you hear me?
The central midfield.
I can see you. I can see you for a while.
Xhaka can play midfield. That I think there is a position for you in midfield.
Number 8. I like it. Laka is poor, but the only person can hold up a ball. Martinelli can't, and neither can Pepe. Plus, the midfield isn't good enough for a striker not to play with his back to goal. Yeah.
The thing is with Laka, right, is that if we had. When he played, so for example, when Aubameyang and Lacazette played together, it worked really well because, the pressure is then off of Lacazette to score all the goals. He's there to hold up the play, invite, be able to bring others in, and he does that phenomenally well. You know, there's not really anybody else in our team, and there's not many, to be fair, in the league that can do that as well as him. I don't think he's fantastic at it. But when you have Lacazette as your only option as your striker, it doesn't work because he's not that kind of player. And over time, he's just become less and less effective as an all-and-out striker. So at this point, because he is our main option as a striker, he's holding us back. But that's not necessarily his fault. He's being put in that position to fulfill a role that he's not really suited to, because that's not what he's best at. You know, we need to be playing him behind a really effective clinical striker. So I think some of the criticism he gets some of it's justified because he's still a forward. He still has to score more goals than he does. Absolutely. So he still needs to bag goals. But I think the reliance we've put on him puts undue pressure on him because he's not that type of forward. He's not an out-and-out, I'm going to score you 20 goals a season. No. He never has. No. So, you know.
Not for us, anyway.
You know, but he is holding us back because he's our main option, and that's
he's our best option to make things work for Xhaka, for Emile Smith-Rowe, for Erdogan.
But not playing striker. That's for me. And then
he's our best option. That's the position.
No, he's not a good. He's not a striker. So why play him as a striker?
He's a withdrawn striker.
Huh?
It's because we don't have midfielders.
No, but I'm saying for me, like I would say, bring it. The further away from the goal he is, the better off we are. That's how he looked in the second half. It opened
up. We had
a
box-to-box midfielder instead of Xhaka, then he can actually play striker.
Tony, the assembled question: do you think Partey and Xhaka complement each other, Tony? Everyone's going to get a little nibble of this one.
I don't think they complement each other. I don't like having two holding midfielders. You see it doesn't work because Odegaard's going back there having to help out. You have your striker going back there to help out. So apparently the two's not good enough. They don't work together. To me, we've seen Partey play one game good his whole time here in 18 months. And he went to AFCON. He just hasn't been good enough so far. He's 28, ready to turn 29 if he hasn't already turned 29. Xhaka, he's Xhaka. He's slow. He kills the tempo. He's against everything we try to do. We've been trying to play this attacking, free-flowing football. You see him fall on his ass yesterday with nobody around him. He's just not good enough. So. That's my
I don't know. I think those.
I would be a timid left back because I wouldn't be allowed to play anywhere else, Gary.
You just have people covering you behind and in front of you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't. Tony, I hear what you're saying, but yesterday, Partey and Xhaka looked good. Looked okay. Looked good.
They looked okay. They got bypassed the entire game.
Tony, they complimented each other.
I didn't. Did you feel threatened defensively?
No.
They got bypassed.
That's not the question. Did you feel threatened yesterday?
Offensively, did the ball float through the guys?
I just asked a question. You haven't answered it. You're just like complaining about something else.
They weren't involved. The ball went around them.
What do you mean Partey is the reason why Xhaka scored? Did you not see him up there in the attack?
Oh boy, he did one.
And you know what he was doing? You know what he does when Lacazette made the forward pass. He's back there sitting in front of the back line. Partey, I think, is being played a little bit out of position sometimes, being asked to do a lot of things because we don't have a right player. And Xhaka is okay because he doesn't have to play.
Do they complement each other? No, they do not complement each other.
That's your opinion, and Gary has an opposing opinion.
Yeah, I thought they looked good yesterday. I mean, I think we had opportunities to score.
You look good when the ball goes around you and the other team doesn't threaten you at all, Gary.
Tony,
can I say something, guys? That was a double KO. Yes. That was a double KO.
Double KO.
Double knockout.
Double knockout, partner.
But you're being quiet. Do they complement each other?
No, they don't complement each other at all, my guy.
So tell me this. We'll always go back to 45 minutes. 45 minutes against City. Tell me how we played
No,
against one of the best
it's
teams in the
just
world. And what was
it's
our
just
partnership in the midfield?
Gary. It's in the overall package of things, they don't work together. In
Who
certain
got sent
games,
off in
it's
that
like
game? That's a bad
it's like a
example,
light
Gary.
switch. It's like a light switch. It's on and off, basically. You know, most games they don't complement each other because, like Tony's saying, and I'm agreeing to, is also why are we having two holding midfielders though? And like, as much as I like Partey, Xhaka is Does anybody have an answer for me? In which what does he play as? He's playing as Cam, defensive midfielder, backward
He's
sideways
definitely not a cam.
midfielder.
He's definitely not a cam. So
We
the
don't.
fact that you
No,
put
I
that
know
in the
he's not a
list is
cam.
not
Mahir,
I was going off the list.
he plays as a CRAB, a crab. Only
A
goes
crab.
sideways.
I think they are the best partnership.
For now, it's fine.
Dare I say it? They're the best midfield partnership.
Agreed.
Yeah, for now.
At the club right now.
Because we don't have anybody.
Of
Who else
course.
do
Yeah,
we
but
have?
it is what it is.
Yeah, of
right
course
now.
we don't
We have
anybody.
Sambi. And Sambi is better than Xhaka. Sambi and Party will
Not
do a
right
better
now.
job.
Not
than
today.
Xhaka.
He will
Not
be
right now.
eventually.
Not
Um,
today.
He will be eventually.
I would love
Sambi's
for
not
that to be
ready.
the case.
Just like
I'd rather have
Quaj is not
Torreira.
ready.
I'd rather have Guendouzi. I'd rather have any of the
I'd
players
rather,
that are
I'd rather
out
have
on
like the
loan.
best
Sick of
midfielder in the world,
Xhaka.
but we're not going to do that, dude.
Jeez. We need
Tony,
to
don't
lay
be
off
like that
Guendouzi.
neighbor who wants to look at the yard next door and say, I want his
But when
grass.
we don't have any fucking options, yeah, they're the best too when we don't have any fucking options.
I like that.
We've loaned everybody
I would
out.
have those agree,
Arteta won't play anybody else. Yay. When you have two out of a bad bunch of two, they're the best when you have a bunch of two.
But it's
Yay.
true, it is two out of a bad bunch, you know. I agree with that. It is.
What of a bunch of two?
We're
That's
gonna
funny,
talk a little
Tony.
bit about the teams
Oh.
around us. Let's
Would
think
you have
about-
rather
man.
have Tyrannosaurus shit
We're moving
Sorry, my
on, we're
guy.
moving on. Tony,
platypus shit?
Tony,
It doesn't matter.
Tony, we're moving
Sorry,
on.
my guy.
Round
You
two.
got me fired up, Ray.
Hey,
I didn't ask the question. Somebody in the comment section asked the question.
End of round.
Listen, Tom. Hello, everyone. I got kicked in the balls once, and I hurt less than losing the scum test.
Sorry, my guy.
yeah.
It was
sorry,
my
yeah.
upset pick. Sorry,
we're
man.
all cheering for United to lose.
We
Let's
were
just say
all
that.
cheering
yeah?
for you, all of us.
Tony is getting.
Okay. It's okay.
Think I had to wait for the buttons, Tony.
See what happens when you put the Oklahoma shirt on? Take it off.
Don't put the codes in, Tony. Don't.
Oh, you
don't
have to
do
put
it.
that shirt on, man. See what you do to the crowd?
What does my shirt have to do with it?
The fact
Makes
that we
me
have-
mad.
That's
This makes
You
me
got
mad.
your ass kicked in a
This
cotton
makes
ball.
me mad.
the fact that we have Torreira and Guendouzi, but we still have Xhaka. Guendouzi is like Robertson, who can wind people's gears. He is very divisive.
About discipline and stuff.
Yeah,
Half of
Guendouzi.
us
Jeez,
think
man
he's the
alive.
best thing since sliced bread, and the other half of us don't want any of that bread. at
He's
all.
a brat. He's a talented brat, and they're 10 a penny. Forget him.
But
He's
Matt,
gonna play
Matt,
good
can I
under
ask you a
Emery.
question? I want to ask Matt just a slight question, a slight one. Would you have kept Torreira though, and like possibly seen Torreira flourish? Because I would have loved to see that.
I really liked Torreira. I really liked him as a player, and I think he had a lot of really good qualities. Yes, he was small, and it was a bit frustrating because we wanted that kind of dominant, tall, big, physical centre midfielder. But he was a little terrier, wasn't he? He'd get at you, bite at your ankles. You know, he was quite tenacious. I liked him, but do you know what? I would have loved to see him get a chance. I would have loved to have seen him play and really kind of establish himself in the team. But the problem with Torreira was that he was very homesick. I think, off the pitch, I think he struggled with being at Arsenal. I don't think he really ever felt settled. And I don't think, with all the best intention in the world, and as much as probably Arteta liked him, and as much as we all liked him, I don't think he was ever really
I don't
going
think Arteta ever liked him.
Well, maybe not, but I don't think even with that, even if he had, I don't think he would have ever really have settled. And I think he was always destined to go back to Italy, sadly. But yeah, sad.
I won't be heated on this one,
Arsenal
Ray.
podcast.
I won't be
Apparently,
heated on
it's
this one, Ray.
It's good for the viewing figures. Apparently, people like to see this kind of stuff.
Comrade Tony.
Go ahead,
Hot
Tony.
Tony. Tony
To
with his
me,
shirt on. Everybody likes
to
to see
me, we have to forget something with Torreira. He played in the World Cup, got to the World Cup final, flew back and forth twice. Emery played. Emery played him
Bless
to
you, my
death.
guy.
He was in the orange the entire season. He's sitting there in shitty fucking rainy Linden. Yeah, you're probably gonna be homesick when you're tired, you're hurting, you're overplayed. Then in comes Arteta. Arteta never fancied him. So yeah, he wanted out.
Yeah.
I don't know why
you know
we
what?
haven't sold the player yet, but hey, whatever.
No, I mean, for me, I think Arsenal's wasting their time with holding on to these players. Who cares about their value, because you're losing it anyways. At the end of the day, you never get Arsenal's never getting the values for any of the players they keep holding on to.
Yeah,
But
Niles.
they won't play them. And then if they don't play them, then they eventually let them go for dirt cheap anyway. So what's the point?
Just
let them
18
go
months
and
ago,
get
we
as much
got
money as you
offered
can and
20
move
million
on.
for Niles.
Huh?
Said just 18 months ago, we got offered 20 million for Niles, and Arteta, I want to play him, but never play him. So
Never heard
No,
that
I mean,
one.
I think that's a young coach and a young director of football who basically just aren't working together, because you can't be doing that. It doesn't make any sense. They've done it too many times now. You get 3 offers for a player and you never play them and you never sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and Kedia, how many times has he been offered, offered to take him on? And it always fell through, and Arsenal just won't help that cause, help that transfer go through. But they're willing to pay, Aubameyang to leave. So for me, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would do that, right?
Yeah.
If you can pay for Aubameyang to leave, then you can pay whatever the difference that I believe in Kedia was looking for when he had an opportunity to leave, to let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old,
Why not?
old,
Why not? Yeah.
Old. What's that called? Old news, right? But
Yeah.
definitely, you're right, Gary. It does. The past informs the future sometimes. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I think they just hold on to these players for some worth that they plan to get from them, and they never do. Right now, they're not going to, because
an hour in, we haven't talked about the game one bit.
An hour in,
who cares about the game? We're just gonna
get
get mad at the game, right? And then everybody in the chats will be upset with us.
Yeah, listen, this is what we do. We usually chat for an hour and then we talk about the game.
But usually we talked about the game. We just interrupt you.
You wanted to do man of the match first off, dude. So you started at the end.
I like it. I'm
Matt,
happy.
in a way, Matt, you came up with the title, Matt, because you talked about Avengers yesterday. I put together the title of Hale and Avengers, Matt.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot.
Take it away.
They are the Hale and Avengers.
Start us off.
Oh, do you know what? Obviously, the 3 p.m. kickoffs, we don't get to actually watch the game, despite however much ridiculous money you pay Sky Sports, BT Sport, Prime to watch these games, and it irritates the crap out of me. But that mini rant aside, yeah, do you know what? It's so nice to now have real Arsenal players back at the club. For so long, we've had players that didn't really give a shit about playing for the club, never played for the shirt. We all saw it on the pitch. They didn't care. They're there for a big fat paycheck, there to swan into training, go and wrap the cars, do whatever you want to do, and just go home. You never really saw that passion for the club that, the likes of Emma Smith Rowe, Xhaka have, and this is what, like we were saying earlier, this is what this team's now built around. And you can see the unity in the team. You can see the passion in the players. They want to play for the shirt. And I think right now we're on the up and up, and I thought the game yesterday, really we needed those 3 points, important 3 points. We wanted to go out and avenge that first game of the season. I saw Lacazette's tweet after the game saying there was a nice kick around with the lads in reference to Ivan Toney's post that he posted after that first game. So that was on their mind. That they wanted to turn that around and make sure that we got the 3 points. And you can see, with tweets like that and things like that, you can see it means a lot to them, which is great. I thought we were a bit unlucky. Having watched the highlights, I think Lacazette should have had a penalty. To me, that looked like that was a clear penalty. I think the offside decision that was given was probably a little bit iffy as well, and questionable.
Oh, it's funny hearing a commenter saying, "Oh no, he's offside." No, he wasn't. He was.
It's refereeing
again. Looks like he was onside.
I thought he was onside too.
To me, it looked onside. I agree, but do you know what? What I'm liking about this team is that despite all of that refereeing nonsense, we're going out and still winning games. We're not now sat here making excuses. Oh, well, we didn't win today and we got a draw or whatever else, or we didn't pick up 3 points because, do you know what, the referee performance. We're still going out there. We're still winning games. We're still making sure we score enough, etc., to go and put those 3 points on the board, which I really like. We're not using it as an excuse anymore. We're not seeing players coming out after a game and going, oh, well, it's all the referees again and VAR and all that. We're playing well enough to get 3 points, and that's what matters. So that's really positive. Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka, fantastic individual moments of brilliance. I can't remember who said it in the chat. 2 really good goals. Saka back on form again, causing defense.
Why not mention it in terms of 2 moments of brilliance, breaking the deadlock of the game, but we didn't take any.
And do you know what? Sometimes that's what you need, Ray. Sometimes games you're not always able to completely dominate a game or be able to produce 90 minutes of fantastic performances. Sometimes you just need a flash here and a flash there, and there you go. There's 1 or 2 goals, and that's how you win games. That's how football is. I thought Partey looked to do very well. I thought he was spreading the ball around nicely, doing a nice, tidy job. Odegaard again put in a great performance. Very understated, but just a classy, controlled, composed performance. Making sure that our attacking players had enough ball to feed off. Defense again. I mean, it's disappointing to concede a late goal. I think Ramsdale for it looked a bit all over the place. But I think we're a bit unfortunate to concede.
I think he had a poor game altogether. I think there's one of his off matches.
Yeah, I didn't really, obviously, I didn't see the whole game, so it's difficult for me to comment on whether he had a great game overall, but he looked at a bit 6 and 7s and kind of made a bit of a wrong decision to rush out. And then he looked a bit lost when he come out, and I think he knew he'd fucked up at that point. But good. I'm glad, we got 3 points on the board, and that's what matters. It wasn't, I don't think it was a bad performance. We're creating, we're scoring, and we move on. So, no, pleased with it. Very pleased.
I would just say, assemble let us know what you think you differ in opinion to what Matt had said. So just so we can dive into it a little bit more. But, Matt here, you didn't see the game, but you saw the highlights. What's your overall?
Yeah, man. And from what I saw, quite attacking, man. But what I'm saying is we're loving Emil Saka. Emil Saka. That's the combination name now, guys. Emil Saka. Yeah, man. Yeah, I really can't say much. I'm flabbergasted that we're able, not flabbergasted as per se, but we are able to pick up 3 importance, like Matt's saying. Even if there's rubbish refereeing, we were supposed to be given a penalty. There's no excuses. We're just going out there and getting the job done. Which right now, I mean, is super, super important if we're going to push for the top 4. And it's looking quite likely, man. I'm loving it.
Gary?
Yeah, no, I mean, there is a tale of 2 halves for sure. The first half, I think we had some lost opportunities there. Some were taken away from us by the officials, right? But I think we had opportunities to score. Our finishing or our decision making inside the box was pretty poor, and that's why we never, not necessarily poor, but we just did not give ourselves the advantage to take a shot or take better shots because of our decision making. So that's why the first half was deadlock 0-0. Second half, things did open up a little bit, and we took advantage there because we got the youth. they were able to run onto the back line, which was it didn't even look like they were there at some points. It looked like we had them outnumbered on some of those attacks. So tale of two different halves. The first half there were a lot of, for me, like I did a watch along, and if I recall, I believe throughout the game it was a lot of, oh, what a miss there, oh, what a bad pass there. We did a lot of that, but I think that's kind of where we are with this squad, so we're going to get that. But we were able to, like someone said, you put Xhaka and Milsroof Rowe, and you put them out there, and they actually were able to finish, right? And for me, those are similar opportunities that I think Lacazette has gotten, and he hasn't been able to put the ball on frame. So I don't necessarily think they're just a single moment of brilliance. I think those are just that's just you play on the break or the attack, right? You get direct, you go straight to the goal. Defense doesn't have time to prepare for what's about to happen, and it's too late, right? And you got them on their heels. Take advantage, and then you get the space that you need to put a shot in, and we did that. So you don't get those all the time. So when they happen, you have to be able to take advantage. So that's what the teams do. I think this game should have been like maybe 4-1. I expected a late goal. I said we'll go up 3. We'll go up 3-0, and then they'll probably get a late goal. And exactly what happened. Except we didn't get 3 goals, but.
We're lucky. We got that second goal.
Our defense started to look really porous in that last 20 minutes. I mean, multiple times they put the ball over the top and were able to get, their striker running at our back line, trying to split the defenders. And they did that a couple of times. And luckily the balls were a little bit too long and they just didn't get on the end of it. But, they were pushing for that goal, and they did get it.
They kept going. In fairness to them, they kept going. Which
we got to play 90 minutes, and we didn't. Right? I mean, that's why I was saying at some point I thought Tomiyasu would come in that second half just to get his feet wet, and also, we could also have done with that as a means to kind of maybe hopefully solidify the defense as well. But you know what? All in all, it's a good game. We didn't finish it. We didn't finish strong at all, and that's something we need to continue. Need to talk about.
I still don't think of it as a 2-1 win. It was that I thought we were that dominant, and they did get a goal at the end, but I thought we were mostly in control. That goal definitely was a shock when it came at the time as well. I've got to go to Tony in a second, since you're politely putting your hand up, Tony. You said panel. If you think about it, if we are a team here, us 5, look at the mention of Arteta's decisions has divided opinion amongst you. Now think what is happening in the changing room. Well, the only thing I would say to that is if you're a Manchester City or if you're a Liverpool fan base, there's very little disagreement because you're winning and you have a great chance of maybe winning the Carabao Cup or even in the Champions League, both teams. Every other team in the league, their fan base is split about something, this, that, or the other. And that's just the way we're all going to think differently here. 5 of us are all going to think differently. All the way from kind of Arteta in, Arsenal in, or Arteta out. That's just the way it is. I think it's human nature, and I think as long as the dressing room stays behind what they're trying to do, what they're trying to achieve.
The 5 of us are actually totally split there. Me and Mahir, Arteta out.
Yeah.
Gary, Arsenal in.
That's why I like this group.
Matt and Ray, Arteta in.
That's why I think we all differ in opinion, and it brings good conversation, right?
And chemistry.
Well, you're true. I think what we've got to remember
is Tony every once in a while.
I think what we've got to remember though is a player group. They are going to be a hell of a lot more in the know about why these decisions are made and what's going on around the club. So, a lot of the time, a lack of information or a lack of communication and not being in a group and not knowing 100% what's going on is what's going to divide us. If we were fully informed like the players would be to a degree, then we'd probably be maybe a little bit more united on that front. I can't remember. I mean, you look at least, I suppose, you look at photos, you look at, how they're playing, you look at their response in games, you look at them fighting, in a positive way for performances. You see Ramsdale, Ben White, Tomiyasu high-fiving each other and patting each other on the back and saying, I want to punch you in the face every time you make a save or a tackle. That doesn't say to me that's a divided changing room. That to me says, to be honest, I think this is the most unified team I have seen at Arsenal for a long, long time.
Because the majority of
time.
them's almost the same age group. I think they kind
Yeah,
of
but that's the thing. That's a
fight for each
contributing
other.
factor, but it's a good thing. I think they're more. I don't think they're all that divided. I think they're all individuals. They're all going to have their own opinions. I'm sure there's a couple of decisions that have been made that they don't agree with, but I think they're mature enough and kind of smart enough to think, okay, well, I might not agree with that decision, but I can see where we're going, and that hasn't detracted them from seeing the bigger picture and playing as a team and as a unit. So I don't think there's any division in there. I can't see that anyway.
I think there is division, but I think they just keep playing for the manager despite what they think of him. I think they're united.
They're all united behind the same cause now.
I did have my hand up like 5 minutes ago, Ray.
Listen, if anyone is wanting to do the quiz, download the Kahoot app. It's interactive. It's free.
Do it.
And you don't have to strain your life away. Apparently, we might be doing it soon, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know if you want to do it now or a little bit later, everybody.
We just started talking about the game. We done already? Like 10 minutes to the game. You got 60 minutes to everything.
Hey, Gary, I raised my hand. I don't have my shirt on, but I raised my hand. Nice and politely. It was a tale of two halves. The first half, we had 16 shots, 2 on goal. Second half, 8 shots, 6 on goal. We're clinical, but it still shows we need a world-class striker. We don't need a 20-goal striker. We just need a 15 to 20-goal, very clinical striker, somebody in the mold of Eduardo. We need that type of player. And we can win the league if we have that type of player. We're missing that. A box-to-box midfielder and probably a defensive midfielder.
We're only a few pieces away, and plus
I'd say three.
Plus depth. I mean, we want to be in a situation. I always look at Liverpool. Liverpool put half a team out yesterday. They went a goal down against Norwich, but they were able to turn it around, and they've got a Champions League game coming up in midweek. This is where Arsenal needs to be in the next 18 months at least. I know Gary probably wants it tomorrow, but it's going to happen. Hopefully it happens. You know what I mean? Assembled. All right, so I think we should continue about the game, talking about the game, right?
Yeah.
Mr.
That's
Silva,
what we're here for.
Hello, Mr. Silva.
So he dropped out.
Got a Hefe on.
Good evening, Mr. Silva Fox. You're new around here. If you're not a subscriber, kindly hit the subscribe button. And
he's back.
Meep.
Like button as well. Gary, we started well, but we had a couple of VAR checks, and Arsenal never really seems to get those VAR checks.
We had 2 at once, and they both lasted like 5 minutes.
I think they were shorter than that. I don't think they give too much time to VAR.
They were longer than that, Gary. They almost went down and scored a goal on us like 5 minutes later. They were still checking.
Yeah.
You have a commenter saying
all that
you have a commenter saying this is interesting when they're about ready to score a goal and they're still checking for the offsides and the penalty. That was like 5 minutes, Gary, at least 4 minutes.
I have no doubt they did not spend all that time looking at VAR. I have no doubt.
They said the announcer said they were. Were they lying?
Because the offsides
they're
usually
just pulling it out of their ass and they're checking VAR.
Why don't we get why do they ever show like the lines when there's an offsides for Arsenal? I've never seen one.
Because the lines
don't exist.
They don't exist. When it comes to Arsenal, I barely ever see the lines, right? I mean, for me, there were 2 handball calls that I thought should have gone our way, and they didn't either. I mean, if you looked at in the Leeds game, right, the defender opened himself up, got hit with the ball, and then for me also swiped at the ball, which is what happened in our game as well. All right.
Gunnar Gunza. So hit the subscribe button if you're new around here.
So just like thinking of handballs, there were two opportunities where we could have got the call and we did not. And then in the United game, those same scenarios came up, and guess what? For some reason, they were actually handballs this time. So I don't know. We're not getting the calls there, much less the fouls in the box. I mean, I think Lacazette goes down too many times, so I guess maybe they just decide to ignore it sometimes. Yeah.
Xhaka was doing the same. Xhaka was finally trying to get
we just
calls.
Don't get those calls, and then Pepe in the second half as well. His feet were taken as well. There was a situation where the arm was out and the ball ricocheted up off the ground and hit the arm of the player.
We could easily been up 4-0 at halftime if we got the right decisions, but we didn't. So
let's talk quickly about the goals then. Okay, first half we didn't really.
We shot a lot of shots. None of them went in. End of the half, Ray.
He just wants to command his show. He
Take
doesn't
over,
want to talk
Tony,
about
take
it.
over.
Gives it a minute.
He's like, cut to the chase. Cut to the chase.
Let's
What do
just
you wanna
get to the
talk about,
second half,
Tony?
Ray.
No, I mean, I think the first half. I mean, like I said, I think we did give ourselves opportunities to score in that first half. We did. So we didn't get any calls to go our way, but we definitely we definitely had opportunities to put the ball on frame, and we did not do that. Yeah, I saw that at the boxing fight after they were walking around and people were going after them. I didn't see the video or anything like that, but that's pretty
disgusting
poor.
behavior. That's disgusting behavior.
I mean,
honestly.
I guess I'm going to say this has probably nothing to do much with the game. It's just something I noticed is because it's happened to some of the Arsenal players as well, like Langa, I think, for United. He scored today, but then in the game itself, which I guess is kind of where we are now with football, he got hit in the head with some projectile early in the game before he scored, and then he also missed a penalty in a previous game. And the state of football right now is just, for me, just kind of poor sometimes with the way that people react to certain players. And
but you know what, Gary?
Yeah.
These people that do that, they're not sports fans. They're not there for boxing. They're not there for football. They're there for just starting trouble and problems. Yeah. They're mindless morons and thugs. That's what they are. They don't go to watch the sport. That's a side thing for them. They go because they just want to get pissed up, start a fight, and cause problems. They're thugs. No football club fan or supporter goes to a game to cause problems, shout abuse, throw projectiles. Nobody who truly supports their club does that. Nobody who really enjoys sport does that.
Nobody is a football fan.
Nobody's a normal, decent human being.
Even a decent human being.
Absolutely. So it's just mindless thugs using sport as an excuse to go and create problems. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, like I said,
they shouldn't get the publicity. They should just be dealt with really swiftly, really harshly, be banned from any sporting event, stadiums, whatever else. Ban them for life. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the most I want to do is just laugh at them when they lose. That's really where, as far as that goes for me. I'm happy when they lose, right? But after that, that's it. I move on to my team because but yeah, some of the people take it a little bit too far, and I don't have time for that stuff.
All right, so
here's what
we'll do. We're gonna play the Kahoot game, then we'll talk a little bit more.
Don't play the Kahoot music.
How about
we don't want to hear it.
I'm muting it just for you, Tony. Yeah, go ahead,
I just wanted to say to you guys, so like I said, I'm quite looking forward to going home. I'm actually going to be off in the next 5 because I've got a super early flight tomorrow morning. I love all the wishes, guys. That I'm going to have a safe journey. I'll let you guys know when I get there. And just shout out to everybody here. And one other thing I am looking forward to is actually sitting in a Arsenal supporters club. I phoned them yesterday, the one in Cape Town, and meeting up with a ton of gooners on the next match day.
Oh,
nice. That's awesome.
Hopefully, I'm going to get a...
You know what you have to do, my hair? You have to get them signed up to Arsenal fan circle as well.
That's your mission.
that obviously I'm going to be wearing this proudly.
Yeah.
But also, what's going to be interesting is sitting with probably a bar packed full of Arsenal supporters and going raucous. Hopefully in the next game, like a ton of goals, ton of controversy, maybe a little bit here, there, and just going all in out raucous.
I was gonna say I don't know where he lives, but Gunnar Matters is I know in Africa. I don't know where though. If he's in South Africa.
You
or
know,
not.
who was I thinking of? Presto plays
Presto
actually
play.
in. Presto is actually, I think, in Cape Town, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I'm going to meet up with a ton of Gooners. Hopefully, we're going to get a sort of, I'm going to have Gundit back with a bang, with maybe a live watch along in the ball with these guys. Oh, it's going to be
Sounds
so
like
beautiful.
fun. Yeah, have fun. Yeah, have fun. Be safe, as I
Here's
always say.
Nair. Be safe.
Thanks, my guys.
Definitely.
You all, man. Love you all.
Be safe, mate.
Yep.
All right, so we have 6 people. We got 6 people in Kahoot.
I mean, I'm gonna hold out, but if you want, I mean, I'll join. If I'll wait and let some other people join.
Yeah, you're gonna hold out. We got 4 more spots. It would be great to have.
Do
10
it, people.
in there.
Get that app downloaded and
Great
join
to have
us.
10
It's
people
so
in
good.
there.
I love
Fighting
this
it out.
section.
Mr. Tom, you're not gonna finish last. You scored 2 goals today, and and you kind of held back on those. You didn't do much in the first half. So give yourself
Mr.
about a
Tom.
60-70 minute performance, and I think you'll be fine.
Tom, it is not Arsenal. It is not Arsenal.
Yeah.
We are shipping the striker partnerships of all Premier League clubs, and you have to name the Premier League club that the shipped name of the strikers are. And they're a little bit cryptic just to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet, right?
The first
I don't even know if I want to play this. I have a feeling I'm just going to be getting like zeros.
No,
I can hear Gary's. What?
That's why Gary's.
I don't. I'm still not. You gave us a clue in the beginning, and I'm still like, I don't know what's
Gary's
going on.
still pissed off from
ahead
the
and
last
sign in,
cryptic
Gary.
quiz.
You might just have 7 of us. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I have won. I have won a game, so
Yes, you
Tony,
did.
I've won one.
So,
So
When did you
Mr.
do
Tom,
that? When I was missing?
I don't know. I think you were there.
I don't think
you
I
were
was.
around.
I know,
but I know if you guys saw the Leeds game today. I think Rodrigo and Rafinha looked really good today. When they're on, they look really good.
I was screaming like Kermit the Frog. Yay! I was that excited because 2 goals in 2 minutes, and I thought United would crumble at that point in time. But United and Tottenham, to another extent, are living on sort of these last minute. It's not sustainable, I believe. If Arsenal was doing this, we would say it's not sustainable, Gary.
Yeah, I mean it was a good game good game of football, especially in that second half when the goals were going and players were just not there was the banging of heads and everything like that. You're like, yes, this is what football you want to see in a game. So 2 teams going at it. I think what they said at one point was like 9 or 10 yellow cards coming out. Because they just they did not look like they liked each other. So should I go ahead and join?
Yeah, go ahead and join. We got 6 people waiting for us.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and join so I
turn on
don't
the
take
music a
anybody's
little bit,
spot.
Tony.
Silver Fox is in. Good to see
So
you
listen,
in.
Silver Fox, great stuff
07,
that you're in the house with us. Mr.
He goes by Hefe, so just to make sure you call him by this, but his
Sammy G's in the house. We got 7.
All right.
And Gary's going to make it 8. This is a cryptic ship names of the strike forces of Premier League clubs. We will wait 1 more minute for.
Come on, guys.
2 more.
Guys and gals.
This is what we anticipated, Matt. Have 10 people every podcast or every other one. Every
Who's
Sunday.
this Ramayasu guy?
Yeah, that is a ship name. That's Matt. Mr. Tom is in the house. We know who the comrade is.
No, we don't.
We know who Rids is. We know who Sammy G is. And we know who DWT is. First question everyone will get the idea of. All of the answers, whatever you pick, it's correct, but you'll get the idea of it, okay? Here we go. We're starting. It is the weekend striker shipped quiz.
I thought it said something else. Sorry.
Strip
Get
quiz.
your head out of the gutter.
Lack of
here we go.
Lack of Odegaard. So lack of Odegaard. is Lacazette and Odegaard. Which team do they play with? Of course, every answer is Arsenal, and you all should get the correct answer. But from now on, you have to pick either red, blue, orange, or is that gold and green? Everybody got the correct
It's only
answer.
going to be red, isn't it?
Whether it be red or whether it be blue. So everyone, from now on, you're on your own, all 8 or 9 of you. And it does go by time as well in terms of how quickly you answer the questions. Comrade is in the lead. Rami
Just
Assi,
slow internet over here.
DWTT. Here comes the next one.
Comrades on the border.
Harrison, breaking records everywhere they go. Harry's son, breaking records everywhere they go.
So I can't even. I'm still waiting to get an opportunity to put a answer in.
Leeds, Tottenham, Watford, or Brighton. Could be down to your internet.
I'm on my phone now.
You always come up with bullshit
I'm
excuses.
just
You
looking
learn
at
to
it.
play.
It's still stuck on. It's still stuck on.
The correct answer is
I didn't get an opportunity to put a
Tottenham.
score in. So
Harry Kane and Son breaking records, and of course the rest was breaking records everywhere they go. A bit like they get battered everywhere they go.
How many questions in total, Ray?
There is 12 questions in total, so there's 11 live questions. Rami
I
asked me up
don't
first.
think I'm gonna be able to play if I can't answer the question.
Rami asked you and comrades in a close
Can he
fight.
stay there?
King Solomon, AFCON rivals. Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, or Arsenal?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to play. So
Okay. Why? Because you
it doesn't let me answer, and by the time it does let me answer, it's too late.
too late.
Then I get
It's the
it's too
internet
late.
signal.
Like
4 correct answers for Liverpool. I think there's probably 6 people in the quiz now. Salah and Mane. Salomon.
Oh,
Mr. Rumble has the
Tony.
highest answer.
Tony.
Mr. Rumble is coming. Ramiyasu.
Look how close that topper is.
Mr. Tom is in the conversation. Here we go.
Breathe
Number
down my
4
neck,
out
Tony.
of 12. More payback. More payback. I want payback. West Ham, Brighton, Southampton, Newcastle. The striking partnerships. Who's the striking partnerships? Which team are they from? More payback.
Listen here. I think that's that one.
Mopay and Welbeck. Mo payback. 7 correct answers.
I think
All
Tony
7
may
of
have
you guys
overtaken me. Yeah. I
Mr.
thought-
Rumble.
Yay! Comrade!
Comrade!
Tony's a long way to go, Mr. Rumble to Mr. Tom. So keep going.
We're having a battle at the top here.
5th. We still got 8 to go. Rich son Dominic. My rich son Dominic. Crystal Palace, Everton, Chelsea, Newcastle. I've got a rich son called Dominic.
Yeah.
Correct
Yeah,
answer was
that one.
Everton, Richarlison.
I hit the wrong fucking button.
and Dominic.
Yeah. Excuses. Yeah.
Comrades dropping down.
Oh, ew.
Mr. Rumble, a highest answer streak of 5. And Mr. Tom is 4th place.
Where's Sam gone?
Brojadams. Southampton, Aston Villa, Wolverhampton, Brentford. Seven correct answers for Southampton. Broja and Adams. Ramiyasu in the lead. Comrade Tony into second. Mr. Rumble.
How do you know it's Comrade Tony? It just says Comrade.
You are not that sneaky.
Jimmy Nez and Pod Southampton, Liverpool, Wolverhampton, Norwich. Jimmy, you know anyone called Jimmy Nez? Or Jimenez?
What a knob. Why did I do that?
Oh, you picked the wrong team?
Yeah.
Norwich. Mr. Rumbold, you had a lead anyway, Matt.
Oh, shit. Comrades,
Not anymore. Not much of a lead.
Mr. Tom and Mr. Rumbold. See, Mr. Tom, I told you had a chance in this. Counting your blessings. We got Sam Greenwood as the gift.
Oh no! Why did I press that?
Aston Villa,
Ah,
Southampton,
shit! I pressed the wrong one.
No!
Liverpool, West Ham. VAR
Oh,
for
why did I
Riddy.
press
Ah.
that?
5 correct answers, Aston Villa, 1
Oh.
incorrect of Liverpool, and 1 West Ham.
Me and Matt fucking pushed the button too
I've
quick.
blown the lead. I've blown
Mr.
it.
Rumbold is counting
Well
his
done, Mr.
blessings. Mr. Tom, you're still in the shout, and DWTT is still there. You're still playing, Gary.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's finally coming up, but like I missed one answer, so.
Antonio Bow and Arrow. Crystal
Oh, now I
Palace,
can't answer again. Oh, crap.
Newcastle,
There we
Chelsea, West Ham. Antonio Bow and Arrow.
Oh, I can't believe I did that.
7
last
correct
question.
answers of West Ham. You've all figured out my mindset of how to play. Mr. Rumbold in the lead by about
He's doing
300
very,
points.
very well.
Rami
Mr. Tom's
Yasu,
not doing badly
second.
either, actually.
Mr. Tom, I told you, it's not just Arsenal specific.
Yeah,
We
he's
got
doing
it.
well. Good old Mr.
We're
Tom.
opening up our horizons. 3 players just hit an answer streak of 6. And there is 4 left. 4 to go to decide this thing. 3 to go. 10 of 12. AU and Ivory Coast. Zaha. Brighton, Brentford, Watford, Crystal Palace. AU and Ivory Coast. Zaha. Aha.
Ah.
Aha.
That's Alan Partridge, isn't it?
Aha. Alan Partridge. 5 correct answers. Crystal Palace. 1 Brentford. 1 Watford. Incorrect. So, if you had Crystal Palace. And Tony knows who's on.
Hey.
Tony, where are you? You dropped off the top 5.
Yeah, I dropped off.
Ramiyasu.
Comrade had other business to attend to.
Oh, shoot. Everybody, check your feeds. Something bad could be happening. We do a refresh on Twitter.
There's a race for the top 2, and there's a race for 3rd and 4th place here between Mr. Rumble, DWTT, and at the top it's Ramiyasu versus Mr. Tom. 2 left. Luka and Hakim Ziyech. Hack the Ziyech. Burnley, Watford, Chelsea, Leicester City. I'm giving it away, I think.
Yeah, you are.
I should just
I got my answer before that.
On the last one, I'm going to let everyone just read it. I'm not going to announce the last one. 7 answers in the house. Let's see what happens. Tony, I put a bear in there for you. 1 incorrect of Watford. 6 correct, Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Tom in the lead.
Wow, that changed.
Wow.
Gary, it's between you.
Fucking Gary out of nowhere.
Wow, that changed.
Gary sat there bitching for 30 minutes.
I didn't get to answer a question, and look where I am.
Ready? Where are you? Ready? Come on.
Where's Red and Comrade?
Here we go. Last one. Pounds in, silver and sterling. Pounds in, silver and sterling.
Yeah, Ryan, we do this every Sunday. We had a little break for a little while to give everybody a little bit of time to go figure out, go do some reading and research, and we're back again. So.
And you have to think like me, which is scary. You have to dial into Ray thinking, Rainbow Ray thinking. The podium. Who made the podium today? Mr. Rumbold.
Ooh, well done, Mr. Rumbold.
First time player. DWTP.
Well done, Gary.
And the winner is Mr. Tom.
Good job, Mr. Tom. Hey, look, you gotta win this weekend, Mr. Tom. You gotta win.
Runners up were Mr. Silver Fox and third somebody else. But listen.
Third somebody else.
Well done, Mr. Tom. Well done indeed. I'm going to sign up.
Thanks, Ray. That was great. I enjoy these quizzes very much.
Yeah, and listen, if you're a Leeds fan, you can win something.
Absolutely, yeah.
Meant that in the nicest possible way, Mr. Tom. But congratulations.
Comrade got busy with something else.
Yes, check your live feed. Check your live feed.
One question, I went from first down to fourth.
I didn't get to answer like one or two questions.
Yeah,
So,
you see, Mr. Tom, that was the trick right there. I got the first proper question.
It's downhill for me and Matt after we accidentally hit the round one.
I could have done Harry with a Y, but that would have given it way too much, way easily.
But Harry's son, right, the best duo in Premier League history with how many trophies? That count?
No, doesn't.
If you do get to join us, Ryan, please do. It'd be great to have you
Ryan,
on the quiz.
even though Stan hates doing them on Thursday nights, we might squeeze one in on Thursday night.
He says they're rigged.
Stewart's inquiry. Now we can talk about the game. We got that out of the way, right? The winner was Mr. Tom this week, so congratulations.
Damn, how long is this podcast going to be for you to talk about the game now?
What is your problem?
Let's talk about the goals.
What's your problem?
Yeah,
an hour 36 minutes in, we haven't talked about the game.
You were having fun.
I summarized the first half.
The part that throws you off is having to think like me. You know, the other three here will tell you that's not easy at the best of times.
We don't want to, Ray. We don't want to be in that world of unicorns and rainbows and.
Stan played. Stan played.
There's no VAR in these quizzes. There's no secondary review.
Well, there might be VAR, but you're not going to like the results.
Exactly,
yeah. We know how that works. Ray fucking screwed me out of Selhurst Park.
Mr. Tom, no matter how many goals you concede, you can still win because you keep Leeds players just keep playing. They don't know the meaning of
this. Mr. Tom, you just need to know you'll get fucked if you right down Selhurst Park.
Yeah, we have a panelist here that holds some grudges, you know. Yeah, listen, let's talk about the goals. The first goal, Tony, Emile Smith-Rowe started its second half and came out and drove at the defender. A lovely shot into the bottom right-hand corner. Goalkeeper almost got something on it, but we go goal up, and that was
a deep shot. The keeper really should have did better than that, but he had the power on it. It was a nice shot. It went in, kind of nice, but keeper didn't guess quick enough, and goal went in.
Matt, I've been talking about let's not big up Emile Smith-Rowe too much because he had a wonderful first half of the season and he might cool off. I'm of course hoping I'm wrong. And he's after picking up the reins again, picking up the thread again with another goal.
Yeah, he's just showing his quality, isn't he? He's consistent now. You know what you get with him. You know, he's direct. He's happy to take players on. He now has that direct goal threat, which he never used to have. You know, he used to try and link someone else in or try bringing someone else in to have a go instead. But he's hungry. He sees the goal and he wants to have a go, which is great. Like Tony said, you know, great finish. Keeper could have done better, but I'm not sure whether he was expecting the shot. I'm not sure whether he expected Smith-Rowe to maybe lay it off for someone else. So, yeah, he did very well. And I think, you know, Arteta will want to see more of that. He was saying, just keep doing what you're doing, attack players, cause them problems, and have a pot on goal. Because more often than not at the moment, when he unleashes his boots and wants to put his foot through it, he ends up putting it in the back of the net. Sorry, Tony.
So who do you start now? Martinelli or Smith-Rowe?
It's a very good question. Very good question. To me, Emile Smith-Rowe has that left-hand side down pat. That for me, he occupies that spot. For me, Martinelli should be starting up top. Simple.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt, Matt, but I mean the reason why you can use either one of them is because of what they give you. I think the problem when Martinelli gets out there on that left is he's out there by himself because he's so damn fast. When he gets
Yeah.
the ball out there, Smith Rowe will keep everybody together because he doesn't take it to the goal line sometimes and doesn't
And
need to
neither one
get
could
stuck
give you
there.
much more than 60 or 65 minutes either. So
Yeah.
one of them's
He
coming
looked
on.
like he
top
was
of
he looked like
the
he was dying during the watch line. It's like the guy looks like he's beat, and he's like it's time to go. And I don't know if that's before or after he
See
scored.
what
Yeah.
see what Sam says here, and now we're back on the game, laughing. If Ray was a ship captain, you would only sail in circles, probably never leave the harbor. Anyone see that Twitter feed of that ferry trying to trying to board or trying to land in harbor? It was like spinning around. That was me, I guess. Yeah.
Clues in the channel name. Circle.
It was in the channel. We're
Yeah,
strong, but we also go
Absolutely,
around in
yeah.
circles. All right.
definitely. Yeah. No, I was gonna say I don't know if we get into the second goal, but Lacazette had to do a lot with both the goals that we scored yesterday. I mean, he basically put a long assist in on the first one, and then on the second one, if he doesn't make a play on the ball in the midfield, we don't get it, and then Partey gets it. So, and that's why I
why he
said,
got a Down Run Award.
can you stop talking?
Hey, that was a quick one. That was a quick blow.
You know, Gary, we got to be careful. The only button I can hover my finger over is a mute button, but Tony's got much more potent.
I know. You know, I don't think we want to upset him, right? He's gonna
You already seen fired up Tony this year.
He's gonna take out the whole East Coast, and we're in trouble. So yeah, I'll be nice. Sorry about that, Tony.
I'm out to move my troops.
But like I said, had a lot to do with why we scored the 2 goals that we did. He was right in there making plays that gave us the 2 goals. So that's the good part of his game. It's just everything inside the final third. I think that's not where he's going to help us out, which for me means that maybe he doesn't have to play striker. Don't even call it a striker, and maybe he has to move back, and we need to bring somebody else in. Somebody else has to sit. Right? Somebody else has to sit. I mean, if that's Xhaka, I'll be okay with that.
Gary, it looks good if Lacazette's making that pass and then Emile Smith-Rowe or Xhaka is finishing for him. But if they've got to pass back infield to the striker,
I still want to see what it looks like with Partey as Malone central defensive midfield.
If they're trying to pass again for the aging striker who's trying to get on the end of it for that final pass, it's not looking so good as per Burnley.
We've seen it more than enough times now. It's not something that's going to work. So let's not even think about doing that, and hopefully, put some younger legs in there.
Stan here has been exercising the skills of diplomacy, so maybe he should intervene as well into world affairs.
Yeah, it had probably nothing to do with the bat.
He told his neighbor to get his feng shui in order. That's all he's told him. Get your feng shui together.
Yeah, he knocked on the door with his bat. Bang, bang.
Also, the Stan knock is a different kind of knock.
Let's talk. Next thing you know, quiet. Good job.
Yeah, that Stanley knock is a different kind of knock. Second goal was covers there for a bit. Second goal is a breakaway, a quick turnaround, and Xhaka, an unerring finish, really good shot into the corner off the upright.
Yeah, it's one of his better shots. He's finding the shooting boots again. He was coming close earlier in the season. Now he's starting just to score him. Sorry, biting off bronchitis.
Yeah, you're all right. Mr. Tom won Kahoot today, but why not won the chat room Kahoot as the solo entry? Download the app. It's really you're not obligated to sign on to anything too much, and you can play interactive. I think it's a little bit of fun interactively. It has a little bit of friendly competition here. Reddy's firing back. Mr. Tom Asprey, who still holds the record for most Kahoot wins. Yeah. But yeah, and listen to me, I don't even think that I didn't even think we conceded that goal. It was so late. We dominated the game so much. But
Well, you thought the first 3 games were preseason, so
yeah,
Touche, Tony. Touche.
I have my things that I think are and you thought Liverpool were going to win the league, or what did he say last year? Liverpool was going to win the league, and he stuck by it, and then he's
now as Man City, I picked Liverpool, but I said Man City and stuck with it throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, that was after you said Liverpool. So yeah.
all right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Gary, you want to start us off with this one? Most people think we shouldn't talk about this. Cup finals and captaincy.
Cup
We got
finals.
First part's easy. We got 15 more cup finals, okay?
Oh, okay.
Second part is that captaincy thing and that armband traveling around the pitch before it finally finds an arm.
Yeah, you see, and that's as much as there was a little bit of miscommunication there. That is the problem with the squad sometimes. I mean, was it not clear going into the game who was going to get the armband? Right?
I sure thought Xhaka was higher.
I mean, that's the part that I don't get. So, like, the captains today are Lacazette, Tierney, right?
Nobody knew that, though, right?
That's what I'm saying. Why? Why not?
Because Xhaka usually gets it. That's why.
Yeah, and then to see it go from like one arm to the next arm, and then Xhaka saying no, and it's like, you know what? That just doesn't look like a team that's organized and knows what's going on. So for me, there's a little bit of communication. Like Lacazette should have known who the armband goes to, as the captain. All right, that's what I believe. The fact that he didn't even let Eddie Nketiah know, and then Eddie Nketiah puts it on, it's like okay, and then decides to take it off and give it to the.
That was his final fuck you to Arteta.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like that just shows a little bit of the organizational issues that we still have at the squad. That happened there in the middle of a game. It shouldn't be that difficult.
Sam said too much is being made out of this armband thing. It was just a mistake on the day.
I agree.
Yeah.
Listen, the orchestration had been so. My theory is that home fans didn't see it so much. That Granit Xhaka is supposed to go to the sideline with Lacazette when Lacazette's coming off, so they can do it discreetly. Well, Xhaka is going to get shade whether he takes the armband or not.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either. And you know what? As long as if Arteta backs it up and says that's my captain, my co-captain, then what do we can't say anything more than that. The thing is, he kind of lets it fester a little bit, and that's why we go the way we go.
We've seen him get it 5 or 6 times this season, so I don't know why.
If you say the senior leadership, Tony, is Lacazette, Holding, and Granit Xhaka, then surely we can just go along with Granit Xhaka getting the armband for 15 minutes.
That's what's happened most of the season when Lacazette's come off. It's went to Xhaka, so I don't like it, but that's what's been happening.
Really great comment.
We have one more Cahoots and Spurs trophies in the last 20
That
years.
wins the comments, I think, today.
Yeah, nice one. It was an unwelcome distraction, and yet again, Xhaka was at the center of it. Matt, what do you think Xhaka was thinking at the time? He's like, I'm leaving already, or, I don't need this, or maybe the decision
He's taking damn Milan's weather's nice today. I think he's thinking of the weather in Milan.
I, as far as I've seen, it was a miscommunication. It was meant to go to Kieran Tierney. Eddie Nketiah didn't hear the call or something like that, and they struggled to get it across to Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, but it's never linked to Tierney.
But
eventually
these things happen. It is a really minor thing that gets blown up, and because it's Xhaka, because he takes it, and obviously because he knows it's not meant to be going to him, it's going to Tierney.
Then why didn't he just fucking go over and give it to him?
I don't know, but these things happen. It's just a really minor thing that gets blown up because it's
like, no, I'm not taking it. He didn't tell him what to do with it, so Nketiah puts the damn thing back on.
It's an avoidable issue because, like you say, that it should be better organised. I completely agree with that. But I think
if Xhaka's such a good leader, why didn't he tell him the correct player to give it to or go?
Well,
Give it
that's
to him
why
yourself.
he wasn't going to get the armband, and he wasn't destined to have it in the first place, and it was meant to go to Kieran Tierney.
But we always talk about players being leaders. So
Yeah.
if he's a leader, it doesn't look good. I don't know how he
Yeah.
said no, don't give me the armband. If he's like no, I don't want it, keep it away from me. I don't know. I don't know what he did, but it sounded like from the commentary they just didn't. It didn't sound good. But like you
It's
said, it's
not
not
going to
really
look
a
good,
big
though,
deal.
is it?
It's
not a big deal.
it's the little things that you don't think you should have to deal with in a game. That's all.
Yeah, but it's any excuse, isn't it, to dig into something and have a pop. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I am all for having a pop at Granit Xhaka at times because he gives us plenty of reason to. But
Yeah.
I think this is a real non-issue that I think is just okay, fine, miscommunication. Didn't take the armband. It's Granit Xhaka. He's going to get grief for it. Fine, whatever. Should have been better organised in terms of getting it across the Kieran Tierney he was meant to go to. But that's it. That's it. It's a really simple, silly
not that fucking
mistake. There's
complicated.
nothing to it. There's nothing to it. It's a nothing thing, really.
That's why we're not going to spend too
That's
long.
why we didn't talk about it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is something. It's a
We
one is
talked
Arsenal.
about it
It's
longer
Arsenal,
than
and that's what we
this
do. We talk about stuff like that. All right.
Yeah.
Anything that comes up in the world of Arsenal, we do have to discuss it.
You just put Arsenal at the beginning and or the middle of your statement.
Ray just likes to
get a reaction.
Ray just likes to push buttons with the X-Men. He knows the feelings of X-Men.
Arnie's here. Thanks for joining us, Arnie. If he had put it on, then our fans would have been angry, and that's.
But
I
expect
him to put it on, so I wasn't. At some point, you got to get over it, right? He gets the armband. He's part of the leadership
two
team.
things, Gary.
Right.
Him discreetly putting it on his arm would have caused less controversy than him not putting it on his arm, in my opinion. So
since Lacazette's been head captain, we've seen him get the ban. So I don't know.
He can't win though, can he? In that situation, he's never going to win. It's a lose-lose, whatever he bloody does.
But it's not like the first time in a lot this year that he's got it 5 or 6 times.
But it wasn't due to go to him. The whole point, though, Tony, is that. But the whole point, Tony, is he wasn't meant to be getting it, and it wasn't going to be going.
Yeah, but why did it change? Why did it change from Xhaka?
I'm not even fighting with Tony right now.
Because clearly,
I'm just asking a question. Why did it change?
Because clearly, Xhaka isn't the long-term solution, and Arteta's looking at other people, and he's giving other people an opportunity. Yeah, finally. But
it took 3 fucking red cards this year for him to not get that ban.
Fair enough. If he's looking at other people, that's a good thing for all of us, I think.
Yeah, but he could have told the lad, go give it to Tierney or took it.
I'm taking the banner off right now because we didn't need to spend too much time on it.
You got what you wanted out of it, Ray. So you pressed the button, you threw some gasoline on the fire. You did everything you wanted. You got what the response you wanted to see.
Grizzled
through the match and watch it burn.
Grizzled Gary versus Comrade Tony is the energy you need on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, we're just friends having a little chat. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just having a little chat.
Me and Gary be hugging it out tomorrow.
There you go.
I always feel like we don't celebrate wins as much as we should, but definitely celebrating 3 points. 2-1, we dominated the game more than the 2-1. And I'll never remember this game as a 2-1. That last goal, even a player seemed to be in the way as well. Seemed to be offside. Seemed to be in the line of sight from our goalkeeper. But
it could have easily been 4-0 at halftime.
Tony, it looks good. 13 wins, 3 draws, 7 losses, and we're right on track for a top 4 right now. It's 66 is the objective that I put up there for the last 2 seasons at least, and hopefully we hit.
It's 4th place, Ray. It doesn't matter the points. It's 4th place. It's the goal. It was our goal last season. Now Arteta.
You're wilding him up, Ray. Come on.
Should I put parentheses 4th place there as well?
You should be able to say what you want to say, but this is Tony, so all that goes out the window, and you just have to.
Who wants to watch this on fucking Thursday nights? I don't want to watch this play in Ukraine on Thursday nights.
Look, you
I want
gotta
to see us
keep,
playing on. I want to see us playing in Russia on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
you
I
gotta keep
want to
things
know
in
who's
perspective.
replaced Tony's AA batteries. He's got Curacao in him tonight.
Tony, Mr. Tom, again, it's a privilege thing. You shouldn't feel too privileged. 13 wins. I've forgotten what that feels like, said Mr. Tom.
So would we.
Gary, you might not be fighting with him right now, but there's always a battle. Just
We're always, yeah. It does. It just takes It just takes a Ray to get things started. So we'll see what he has up his sleeve next.
Xhaka has worn the armband before this season, and it's been a disgrace with love.
Gary's is still in a pissy mood because of my T-shirt. That's all it is.
Yeah, I definitely don't like that.
Muppet manager who puts faith in him. Tony is running on to herself tonight. All right.
Supercharged.
So listen, Gary, what's important is we did what we needed to do. All we can do is win games that we have to win.
Yep.
Win games that are winnable. And maybe grab a surprise result here and there. I'd like that as well.
Yeah, you know what? The nice thing about all of this is, right, we're 1 point from fourth with games in hands, and it doesn't even matter if we win them because we're 1 point and we have to play, right? They've got some good big games.
Man, if I just said that, you would have jumped all over me if I said it doesn't matter. You would have jumped
because I like to fight with you. Yeah, exactly. You're right.
What are you talking about, Gary? It does matter. Every game matters.
No, but you know what? I want us to win those games in hand. The games in hands are just some of the toughest games we've got, right? So if you win all the other games that are on your schedule, we should be good, right? And I think I was looking at like the next 9 games. I think we just have one big game that we have to play against a top 3 team, and some of those other teams have a little bit more, or they play each other. So we beat that team. We'll be good. I think we'll be good. West
Beat
Ham,
that team and the Wolves, then should be good.
Yeah. So I think we will be where we want to be, and then if we can continue to improve in the way we play, it'll be really good. So for me, you don't even have to look at the games in hand. When I don't remember when that team had games in hand. I don't remember where they were in the table, but I thought they were lower down, right? Whereas we have games in hands, we're right there, all right? We're 1 point off fourth, right? So
we're 1 point off fourth, exactly. Mr. Silver Fox, you're dead right. Those games in hand are Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs.
So those games. That's why I'm like, if we can get, we might worst case scenario we get 1 point out of that, right? But I expect us to get at least 3.
The thing is, right? What is as well, the teams that we're fighting with, West Ham, they've got 3 of those 3 tough games probably as well.
Yeah.
Man United probably play City, and Liverpool have to play Liverpool. They have to play us. So all of the other teams are going to have tough teams to play as well. It's just that those games in hand for us are Chelsea, Liverpool, and Tottenham.
That Liverpool scheduled game, I kind of feel like we should just like not, because we have Villa and West Ham, if I recall, surrounding that game.
Leicester and Villa.
Oh, Leicester and Villa. Sorry. So, which of those, of those 3 games, the Liverpool is least probably low on our list of games that we really need to win, right? So we need to win the other 2 games more important.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those games you'd like to really have a go at them. You'd like to not be 3 games in 6 days.
We play every time we play one of those big teams, guess what happens afterwards, right? We have a little bit of a lull and our performances drop. Right? So that's going to be a problem for us. We can't afford to do that.
It's better to have points in hand, not the games. Look at shitting them, didn't win the games in hand. Yeah. The points are always handy to have, Arnie, but you got to play. I think we can look at the table, although we are looking at the table. You can't look at the table too much. You just have to take one game at a time. Didn't we say that, Matt and Gary, yesterday?
Yeah.
One game at a time.
Yeah, I fancy ourselves. I think the Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham games, I think we should come out with at least 4 points from that. I think. I don't expect us to beat Liverpool. Chelsea, we obviously, apart from the first 3 games of the season, we typically have a reasonably good game against Chelsea. Typically, Spuds I'd expect us to go and beat. So yeah, I'd say 4 points would probably be. I'd be okay with that from those 3 games. You know, given the games you had up, I think bar Liverpool, we should be taking 3 points from most of those games, if not all of them, bar Liverpool.
Mhm.
So I don't see why not.
We still have to play West Ham, Man United, Spurs, and Wolves. Top 4 is in our hands. That's it.
Yep.
Top 4
Yeah,
is in our
totally.
hands.
Wolves will be tough. But out of all of those, Wolves will probably give us our hardest test, I think. You know.
Yeah.
Liverpool, you know, out of those just listed on the bottom of the screen there, Liverpool, okay, fine. We all know what we're going to be facing there, but Wolves are going to be difficult, but I still think we're going to get a win there. Leicester, we generally play really well against. Villa, probably a ground out win. But I don't think any of those that I'm thinking, oh, we're not really going to get 3 points there.
Nobody's talking about Steven Gerrard, and Watford surprised them yesterday.
Yeah,
but he's got to be under some kind of pressure as well. 3 of those games at home: Wolverhampton Wanderers on Thursday, Leicester, who can't seem to buy a win right now, and Liverpool at home. Watford away from home. It might become a tricky fixture. Considering we'll have to see what they do in the next couple of days.
I hate that narrative that just because we're playing away, it's going to be a tough game. We got to get at some point. We have to get away from that. We just can't be away game. It's going to be tough.
We just went to Wolves and we beat them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then you just turned around and said Watford is going to be a challenge.
Next things I tell us the weather.
So that's where I'm coming with this. It's like
where's the weather report?
Yeah, but
Ray.
Having a challenging game away is different to saying we're going to lose. You know, I think you can have a challenging game and go away and win.
I don't
know what Ray said, but maybe
Rain Man, what's the weather in Watford? What's the weather, Debbie?
I don't. You totally misrepresent me when I say that stuff, Tony. So.
Oh, Russ missed a great show.
Yeah, you missed Angry Tony, but he's still here. Angry Tony.
Like Hefe says here, man.
Every game is challenging, Mr. Scova Fox. Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess Russ loves me, but he likes to kiss you, Gary.
What's that?
He's doing the same to you, Tony. Doing the same to you.
He loves me and kisses. I'm not sure.
What happened yesterday? West Ham drew 1-1. That's really
he's laughing at Ray.
What?
Russ is laughing at you.
Oh, okay.
He's enamored with Matt, kissing Gary, loves me, and laughs at you.
I got broad shoulders, Tony. I got broad shoulders. I can take it. It's 19 of the best teams in the world and Burnley. Yeah, so Gary, really the only points dropped from our right weekend was West Ham. Man United won today against Leeds. Yeah. Tottenham's backs were against the walls. They had to do something.
But I guess this is their season, right? Playing against City, they seem to be playing up for those games. They looked really good yesterday, so it's just kind of terrible in itself. You thought at some point City was just going to wake up and maybe run away with the match, and it never happened. It never happened. So yeah.
Perfect storm.
We are where we want to be. We've got games in hand, and we just have to do what we got to do, and we'll be
Manchester
fine.
City, I feel like Manchester City were coasting a little bit. They're feeling like they have a gap. They do have a gap at the top. They could afford to lose the game, and Tottenham went after them with their counter-attacking style, and Conte going crazy on the sideline.
I mean, I don't know how they could feel that way because Liverpool is, like you said. I mean, they're one poor performance away from getting right up there and being tied at the top of the league. So and I think they still have a game against each other, I believe. So,
yeah, they play each other as well.
So so I mean that right there. So so they've got a game in hand and they play each other. So there you go. That should be a lot of fun to see how that pans out because I don't think anybody thinks City should be that close, right? But Liverpool is playing pretty good football, so there you go.
Yeah,
At
Liverpool.
one point, it looked like City was a win by 15 points, and now they're just 6 points away.
Yeah, they would have been 12 if they won, right? They would have been 12 before the Liverpool match. So there you go.
Let's get through final thoughts, and I have dropped a StreamYard backstage pass for anyone who does want to join us at the end and talk to these four great minds here. And
You said four
something.
great minds.
Or-
Who else is
or-
joining us? I'm just wondering, is somebody else joining us?
Or talk Tony down from a major political world issue. Yeah. Yeah, me. I was including me as well. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
If that was your
We thought
final
somebody
thought,
was taking over your spot, Ray.
Spuds have always been City's bogey team in the league. Hey, we're in good shape, Gary. I mean, we got to keep
We
it
thought
going.
Stan was coming in to host.
We do have a Wolves. Yeah, you all should host. I should sit back and relax one of these days, you know. I don't know if we're ready for you yet, Tony, though. The world's not ready
That
for you.
will be an interesting show.
I think Ray's scared to give me. You've been talking
Comrade.
about doing it for a year, and you're
I
just
really am scared.
you're just afraid to give me the keys to the
running
castle.
The world's not ready for that, Tony.
We might get canceled. You might have to have Arsenal Fan Circle 2.0.
Hey, don't you and Sam have a show coming up soon?
I don't know. His internet was fucked up. He got better internet, and we haven't heard anything about it. Where are we gonna be tomorrow, Gary? We're on your channel.
Yep.
Is that where we're at?
Tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, my Monday night show will be back again. So
Check it
Matt,
out.
Tony, Stan, Matt, Ray, whenever we'll have guests come in rolling in so often. So you'll see us on Mondays as well. But yeah, Monday we'll be back on.
Yeah, good to see you back with your own show, Gary.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Silver Fox, it was just a way for further interaction. If any of our viewers wanted to grab the link, see us backstage, then it's not live, and you can sort of say hello. I would have loved to have jumped on, but I'm at work. Brilliant stream this, guys. Thank you, and big up yourselves. How did you find us? Let us know how you found us. And
I don't know. I go to the Armory. I think it's the Armory TV. He's Hefe's. He's a moderator there, so and he comes on the show there. So I see him on there. I don't know if that's why he's here, but that'd be cool if it was.
if you ever make a logo, you need to use the fan from Tony's room as the fan in. You know what? This fan just it's hypnotizing a lot of people. I don't know what it is.
It's like
I always pay any fucking attention to it. I always have it on. It goes. It does its thing.
Yeah. There you
All
go.
right. Good to have you over here, Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Gary, take us out. Give us a summary and talk about Wolves on Thursday night.
Yeah, no. So we'll take the 3 points. You know, there's room for improvement there, but that's going to be the case for the rest of this season, I believe. Wolves coming up. We're at home. We will have Martinelli back, so at the least our bench will be stronger. Tomiyasu, hopefully he'll be back as well. Our defense will be stronger. Wolves don't really. I think they don't really score as much, but they look like they could. Right? Today they showed they can score. So as much as they're struggling for their season numbers, I think when they need to, they will score. So we're going to have to be on it as far as defense goes coming into that match, even though it's home. They play much better on the road anyway, so we're going to have a really good game. You know, be really nice to get the 3 points and get it easily, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we might have to struggle. I could see a struggle 2-1 win there, but be nice to run away with it and then move on to the next match. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for there. And we were just talking, I'll call it the trip. So the trip will be on 7:30 tomorrow on the WTT channel. So I'll put the notifications out so you guys can follow that. We'll go from there. But thank you very much for having me, Ray, Tony, Matt, chat room.
Russ is in the backstage.
Oh, look at that.
So give us a thumbs up if you want to drop in live, Russ, just at the end, or a thumbs down. Drop in live, yes or no?
Is he on the top bunk? Because that's the only way he should be allowed in if he's at the top bunk. He
Russ,
is
there's
not
my
at
bunk.
the He's supposed to be
Hello,
at the
mate.
top bunk. That's the only way he's supposed to come on and talk with me.
You're live, Russ.
Not today, mate. Not today. How you boys doing anyway?
All right.
Doing good.
We're doing
Very
all
well.
right.
Good to see you on. Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, sorry, I've mega busy today. I just thought I'd just drop on and see how you guys are. Haven't spoken to you for a while, so
That's
You're
right.
live.
You're always in the
Russ,
chat.
You're live.
Mister. So, look at this motley crew.
I'm on. Oh,
you see,
You're
you
live.
get, we're like buses. You don't put a link in, everybody comes in right at the end. You see,
Yeah.
I love that NWO t-shirt. It's brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
ooh, yeah.
One.
Straight from 1996.
Yeah, my one. I've got two of them. I've
It's
got
as
the red
old
one
as
as well.
Wenger.
Yeah, I've got the red and black one as well upstairs somewhere.
I
That
always
that
thought
means
Russ
nothing to
was
the
a
rest of you.
black dude.
Listen, we'll sign off there, right? Matt, you want to have final word, or Tony? Dare I say Tony?
What's that?
I like
What's your-
Stan's comment there.
Russ,
Just
you want
cracks me up.
to say something, Russ?
That
Live.
was a good performance yesterday, wasn't it, lads? As I say, we just can't put our chances away. That's the only thing that's really annoying me. We just cannot put chances away. I mean, Lacazette is working like a beaver, literally, but he's just not the kind of striker we need at the moment. It's a big shame because I really do like him, but yeah, we just
I
need
think he
someone who
could
could.
bang him in if he was just given that role, but he's not to be given just that role.
I know he's bringing others into play, isn't he? That's what he's there for. He's a focal point to bring others into play, but we just need someone who can just stay up top and just put the ball in the net.
Amen to that. Amen.
Okay,
To
listen, we'll leave it there, Tony. See, Tony's nice to the newcomer. Tony's nice to our guests, but he's mean to us. That's what Tony does.
I've always gotten along with Russ, and me and Mr.
Bit
Tom get
controversial.
along well.
Yeah. I was going to say Ray's almost describing you like an abusive husband. In front of everyone, oh, he's lovely, but behind closed doors, back of the hand. Bit
Ray just
controversial.
felt like
Oh,
fired
God,
up, Tony.
I'm on
today.
YouTube.
I'm
Oh
trembling.
God,
You see me
I can't be
trembling, Mr.
publicly
Tom.
saying that. I'll get cancelled for the 46th time. I mean,
Ray was trying to mute me or cancel me earlier today when I was heated. He didn't like it.
I don't believe it, Tony. No, who would try and mute you?
Ray does
Where's
all
the
the
leather
fucking time.
jacket?
Oh,
There isn't
a
Like
button
100
that
degrees.
works.
Where's the leather jacket?
Many have
It's
tried
it's
and many
around.
have failed, you
Oh,
know?
you can show me after. It's fine.
All right,
Oh.
time to go.
well, at least we know he's wearing trousers. That's good.
Oh, you know what? See the square.
Weathermen and
Joe's just
newsreaders,
going
they've got nothing
downhill.
below
I love
the
how the
waist.
camera.
Yeah.
I know we all say it all the time, but when the camera follows him, and it's like gets all sultry.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah, you know the music starts playing. You're like, why is that music playing?
Oh, sorry, fluttering a bit because the jacket's out.
Here
Terminator
he is.
10.
Here he is.
Comrade is in
There
the
he
house.
goes.
All right, everyone. So a little bit of fun will continue, but thanks for watching, and we will see you later. Grab the link if you want to drop in and say hello to everybody. Take care, everyone.
Hope you guys see you.
Pretty big
everyone.
points yesterday,
Thanks,
and
lads.
Leeds. Sorry, I really felt like you'd do something for us, but sorry about that, Leeds.
We can't even do anything for ourselves, let alone Arsenal.
You can't rely on other people, unfortunately.
No,
That's the name
true,
of the game.
true. Thanks, everyone. Take care. We'll see
All
you
right,
on the
everyone.
next one.
See ya.
Come backstage.